Hey everyone, my name is Dexter, and today I'm going to introduce you to Fandex. It's one of the most fun ways to engage with your favorite teams and players, and once you get the hang of it, you might even make some money on the way. So, first things first, you need an account. It's completely free. All you have to do is hit sign up here in the top right, or you could hit this play now button, and that would also prompt you to sign up. Like I said, it's completely free. All you need is an email, a username, and a password. Plus, we'll get you started with 1,000 points in your account to have something to familiarize yourself with the platform and get you started. Once you're logged in, you can see what Fandex is all about. It's essentially a stock market for your favorite teams and players. And the best way to think about it is that going into a season, every team has expectations. I'll go to the NFL tab here to show you what I mean by that. When I say every team has expectations, I'm referring to the projected win total at the beginning of the season. That is shown here with this win total column over here. We see that the Cardinals are projected 7 wins, the Falcons 8, the Ravens 10.5, the Bills 8, and the Panthers 6. I'll also note that because it's the offseason, the prices have reset to 10 and have only fluctuated minorly since then. So what the price represents is how well the team is meeting or failing those expectations. So let's say that the Cardinals came out and lost their first 4 games of the season. That would drastically lower its share price because now the Cardinals' chances of meeting that initial projected win total have dropped significantly. Now, let me give you a good example of where and why it might be a good idea to buy specific teams. I grew up a Patriots fan, so I'm a huge fan of Tom Brady. And I look down at this and I see the Buccaneers are projected 7.5 wins on the season. And I think that is way too low. I think they'll win at least 10. And I think that as a result, their price at the end of the season will be much higher. So I click on this Buccaneers tab because I want to buy some of its shares. This is key here is just recognizing which teams you think are undervalued and which teams you think will outperform their initial projected win total. So what I'm simply going to do is now that I'm on the Buccaneers page, I'm going to buy, and just for the sake of this video, I'm only going to buy 1 share, so I'm not breaking the bank. And then it's just at $10 per share, 1 share, and then all I do is confirm, complete transaction. And this will just take a moment to process here. And then it'll be processed, and then eventually it will show up in my portfolio. As soon as you buy something, you're automatically redirected to your portfolio and your overall portfolio value. Like I said, the Buccaneers are not instantly reflected in my positions. Rather, it shows down here that I have bought at 1 share, $10, and now it's in my pending queue. You'll see that right there. But I do have positions on the Suns, the Bucks, and the Tampa Bay Rays. So you can see that I own 5 shares of the Suns. And this cost right here means I bought them at $14.78. This price means that they now are worth $18.55. And this plus minus percentage means that I have gained about 25% value from that investment. So I think the Suns are actually going to lose tonight, and I kind of want to cash out on my investment. So I hit that select button right there, and I'm going to sell all my shares of the Suns just to add some liquid value to my portfolio. So I hit that sell button, and it's just going to take a moment to load here as it generates the screen for me to unload my shares. Now you'll see this is very similar to the initial buy shares screen, and I'm simply going to sell all 5 of my shares for a grand total of $92.75. Hit confirm sale, complete transaction, and then in just a moment I should be all good, and I will now have that $92 back in my balance to use as I please. Now that I've showed you how to buy and sell, I'll show you how to short. So I'll use the MLB as a good example for showing you how to short. And before I do that, I'll just tell you that shorting is by far much riskier than buying or selling. Because what shorting essentially is it's selling stock that you do not already own. So it is very high risk, high reward. So as I showed you in my portfolio before, I actually have a short position on the Rays right now. I think I shorted them right around here when their value is right around 15 and a half. Let's just call it $16 for easy math. So I shorted them 3 shares. So that made me $48 about, because I just sold it instantly. And now their price has dropped. So this has been great for me. So I could cover that short right now and buy back my 3 shares at only $13 a share, as we see right here. And that would make me about $10 on the transaction. But let me give you an example. What if right here when I shorted, instead of losing a few games, they actually won several games. They won 10 games straight, and now their price is $20 all the way up here. In that case, I would be in a very tough situation, and I would be forced to, maybe just eat some of my losses as a result. Now, it's also important to note that different sports are affected differently within their prices. For example, in the NFL season, there's only 16 games, so each game is tremendously important. Whereas in the MLB, there's 160 some games, so many pitches, so many scores, that those individual games, individual runs aren't nearly as important, so the prices won't fluctuate as much as, say, an NFL team would. So it's just important to keep that in mind as you consider what to buy and sell, that they will be affected differently and that some you cannot expect to move very drastically. And lastly, I'll just mention that your portfolio is your value. This is where everything is run out of, and that you should use your portfolio to track where you are and see any short positions you might have. Keep good track of it and always keep an eye out for good value on the board. I would say the easiest place to start is essentially do what I did with the NFL, just because the NFL is my favorite team, or favorite league, sorry. So the best way to do it is just see where you see good value and then just have some fun with it and play as you go. Practice is the best teacher, so like I said, just try it out for yourself and let us know if you have any questions. We're always open to support and we're here to help. I would recommend you also follow our Twitter at Fandex and our Instagram at Fandex Official. Thank you so much.